Snoop has always said that after Tupac passed away, that he flew out to New York or Biggie asked him to come out to New York. Can't remember the story, but either way, um, he went to the studio with Big, and Big played him his album before it came out, and he was hanging, good with them and all this stuff in New York. And did you hear this? And since you were around at that time, did you ever hear of Snoop going out there after September of '96?
I'll be honest, I had two security guards with Snoop after that every day. And I don't remember them telling me that they were going to New York. And my security guard was reporting everything to me still. Marcus Thompson and Kenneth Archer were the two. And they eventually started working for him directly. Matter of fact, the guy that he always accused, or Michael Moore always accused of pulling Michael Moore off, which is a bunch of crap, because he's the toughest guy, a fireman. But Mike was strong, but the toughest guy because he was on those steroids. So, but the toughest guy off was Al. It wasn't me. Everybody always saying I'm the one that kept trying to call Michael and where you at? It was actually Al, because that was my supervisor. But he's down as the guy that actually still runs security for Snoop and Shantae, mainly at the house and at that location. Named Al Giddens, worked for me. I'm the one hired him. But my point is, I knew everything that was going on in Snoop life still, up until that point, because he hadn't broke away from Death Row. I don't remember. I'm not saying I'm 100% sure, but I don't remember him going to New York, because I know I would have beefed up security and would have had a little bit more concerns because of what had just happened to Tupac. I learned my lesson, right? I should have learned my lesson if I didn't. My point to saying all of that is, even though he's saying that now, which we know Snoop either smokes too much goddamn weed and forgetful, or the biggest liar in the world, or just really trying to rewrite history to add people into his movie. A nice scene, that would be a nice scene, right? Into his little movie that's about to come out. But John, for me, just listening to that song and the lyrics, did you take that as a compliment or a diss?
I always took it as like a little subliminal, because he says he wants to sell records like Snoop Oops, and the Oops part was because because Dogfather flopped.
Dogfather flopped. Yeah, why would he want to sell records? Well, to be honest, 2 million was a good bar for Big. He always hate on me, talking about I hate no Big, but I keep telling y'all, Ready to Die at that point had only sold 1.5 million copies. Ready to Die. Life After Death hadn't came out yet, for all you comment warriors that don't know your history. And the songs that y'all really was dancing to, like One More Chance and all that, were sold as singles because they were remixes. But that's too deep for y'all, because y'all don't know the music business and the histories of the mid-90s. Y'all don't even know what y'all hear on YouTube. But trust me. That was a subliminal diss, as New York rappers always do. They don't call off names and tell you who they're talking about. You have to figure it out. Now, he did say Snoop, but that oops part and the Dogfather hadn't so well at that time, or wasn't doing well at that time, was a diss. So why would Biggie call them in and play it for him? Now, play devil advocate. There was obviously a relationship with Bad Boys and Snoop after the shooting. Why would you say that? Ask me that, Jen. Why would I say that?
I wouldn't know. I'm listening.
Because they were on the Steve Harvey show with Puffy about a month or two before he died. that was taped. And that was what? About January, February, sometime in February of 97, that he had to tape that episode. And so, and I didn't know about that taping, I'm gonna be honest. Now that wasn't in Hollywood, LA area, so they didn't report everything that they did for stuff like that. But to go out of town, I would have known. And that's my only opinion, to think that our boy Snoop might be rewriting history again. But that's one thing I can be 100% on. And so just throwing it out for content and a conversation.
So it's a known fact that even with all the death row, shit that was going on with Biggie, Tupac, Snoop was still
we finding this out now.
fraternizing with these guys?
We finding that out now. That's why I say he's a disloyal motherfucker. Yo, prior to Tupac getting shot and killed, he's now admitting to hanging out with them and fucking with them. He don't had you elbow. And my girl relative. And so I tell you, we have some snakes among us. That's why people hate me. That's why I call them all the strikers. Right. Niggas were snakes. They were doing that. And not telling. Not just like Jay, with you. Motherfuckers be telling you all the time. Why you fucking red? Why you do this? I catch it too on my side. Why you fucking Jay? But we know. We tell everybody.
Right.
Nigga, I fuck with him.
Right.
Fuck you. That's all you gotta do as a man, right? That's all we asking us to do. Don't be at the House of Blues laughing and echoing in and stuff when I'm talking about fucking a nigga wife and all of that and what he did and all of that. Don't be laughing. Be like, oh, damn. But like you do. Damn, why you say that? He
but
laughing.
Don't you think the Tupac and Biggie beef, Snoop and everybody was caught up in the middle of that?
But tell us. They wasn't telling us. Fuck me. Not us. They wasn't telling Tupac. They wasn't telling them, hey, come on, lay off. Leave that alone. He wasn't doing that. Even when Tupac was talking shit at the MTV Awards. Look at this picture, y'all. Maybe he did feel that way. If y'all see that picture with how Snoop looking at Tupac, while Tupac is talking, I always took it that the niggas just be high as a motherfucker. I'm gonna be honest, I just talk to you. But me being a little older and looking back on things and listening to his comments now, it might have been that he didn't agree. But my point is, if you agree, that's cool. That's cool. Just tell me.
Well,
like you do. When I talk about somebody, you be like, man, I don't appreciate that.
Yeah,
man.
it's a difference.
And then I know.
Yeah.
I know, okay, walk the line with that comment. Or don't say what you really want to say about that person.
Well, if you straddle in the fence, Tupac, Suge, and nobody picked up on that? That he was straddling the fence?
I didn't. I never heard it.
But they can only see.
Because they wouldn't have been fucking with him like that.
Okay,
they did not stop fucking with Snoop. Tupac did not stop fucking with Snoop until that night after the award show when he went on and got on the radio. That's the first time that I ever saw a beef. Now, Suge and Snoop had a beef in between that time, sometime March of 96, because he had heard and found out, and I don't blame Snoop, I'm not mad at him for this, but tell me that he went out there and tried to shop the OBC crew to Russell Simmons and Def Jam and somebody in New York, because Suge wasn't moving fast enough. So he didn't tell him, hey, I'm about to go out here since you ain't signed my group and did this or all that. I'm about to go try to shop this deal.
But you got right to.
Yeah, but tell me.
Why do I have to tell you if I'm making...
You did that shit in Can-Am in my studio and all of that stuff. You give me the first option, which he later did. That's why they wouldn't do the Doggy Style record. I believe that's what made somebody get in Suge ear, probably Tupac or Hammer, and said, hey, man, R.E.S.D. or whatever. And then that's when he came up with the formation of Doggy Style under Death Row, Machiavelli under Death Row East under Death Row, and did I say Hammer Time? If I didn't, and Hammer Time under Death Row. And then the one the homies get mad at when he had Trayvon and Buntry and Nick and all of them, Pooh, Ghetto Boy Records. Well, no, Ghetto Records. I forget the name of it. It was something about ghettos that he was promising them that he was going to get them a label. Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah.
Damn.